Welcome back to the tube. Bright and early, Monday morning, 22 weeks out. We got back late last night, probably landed back in Queensland about 10 o'clock. Had some flight delays, very busy weekend in Melbourne. So Caitlyn and I shot down to Melbourne. We had an action-packed weekend, which didn't exactly go according to plan, but at least we were together. So that's all that matters. We had my sister's wedding. We had her sister's birthday. I had back-to-back days of shooting a brand new project for Muscle Nation as well. That was very different. Definitely never done a photo shoot like that before. So that's going to be a really cool project that'll be coming out very soon. And then we had to try and train, get some meals in, spend some time with some friends whilst we were there as well. There was a lot going on. So back here today, I currently have 2 very big bags that are still unpacked because Caitlyn had to jet off to work this morning. She's got a pretty exciting procedure coming up tomorrow, which she has to fast all day for today. So I'll get her to maybe touch base on that when she gets home. I'm about to head down and get my morning cardio done. There's a lot going on. And then we've both got a lot of work to catch up on today. So lots of things happening. Cardio for me, meal one for me. I've got to train back today. The back session that I've got right now is probably my favorite back session I've ever done. Like I said last week, we've started a new program, moved some things around. And this back session that I've done twice now has like cooked my back, but in a good way. So I'm really excited about the training aspect right now. Food's in a really good spot. Body weight's in a really good spot. PEDs are still super low. Output's not even remotely concerning right now, but gonna head down and get a good chunk of steps and cardio done now. And then we get back to business. So lots coming up. We're getting pretty close to season A in the IFBB Pro League here in Australia as well. So we always like to help out and be at as many of those shows as possible. So whether it's the Queensland show, the Melbourne show, nationals, all that type of stuff, we like to get around that as much as possible. We've got some posing workshops coming up in Queensland for the IFBB Pro League, which we'll definitely be at and helping out at. So that's super exciting as well. There's lots going on. Never a boring day in our life, that's for sure. So it's always good. Keeps us busy, keeps it fun, keeps it light, but big weekends, weddings, birthdays, photo shoots. Now we're back into our routine, back into our structure. So that's where I thrive. That's where I feel the most comfortable. This is where I feel best, is when I'm at home, when I'm with Caitlyn, when we're ticking our boxes and making sure that we are on top of our shit. Mentally, I'm in a really, really good spot. Touched on it kind of last week. You know, I've been going back to therapy, been talking about kind of opening up and being more vulnerable with kind of like my emotions and my feelings and things like that. And the response from that was really productive. You know, having guys reach out to me and sort of stress how important it was to hear sort of someone like myself still dealing with things like this and openly speaking about it kind of gives them a sense of security and vulnerability to be able to do the same, which is the main reason why that was something that I wanted to speak on. So that's something that I'm going to continue to talk about. That's something I'm going to continue to be open about, both with myself and with other people. So really, really important that we acknowledge our emotions, that we communicate how we feel, that we don't leave things being left unsaid. And we don't want things to be misconstrued or misinterpreted. And I always say that intention is everything. So how your intent is towards something and how you approach something is the most important thing. Now, the outcome might not be the most advantageous. The outcome might not be as positive as you would have hoped it would be, but as long as your intent is pure, as long as your intent is genuine, then I think that's the best way to approach things. So I'm intently about to go and attack my cardio, and then I'm intently gonna devour meal one because I'm starving at the moment, super hungry. So my appetite and my metabolism is sky high right now. Which is a good sign for this point in prep. Like I said, 22 weeks out, so we're not really pushing the envelope too heavy or too hard right now. We're just trying to put ourselves into a really good position so that when we do start prep, we can put the foot to the floor and the body is going to be really responsive when we do that. That's from a PED standpoint, that's from a cardio output standpoint, training, all these types of variables. And we're always going to be open and honest and communicate about how we're going to do that. Because the road back to Tampa is long, but it's going to be here before we know it. Like I said, 22 weeks sounds like a long time. Sounds like we've got a lot of room to move and make a lot of changes, but that creeps up really, really quickly. So we want to make sure that we're on top of as much as we can be. Started working with a new brand, actually. Let me talk about that. I started working with the new company. I don't know if you can see that really well. Natty Plus is the company. So they're a kind of like a health kind of supplement brand. So they've sent me out a bunch of products. They do, a conglomerate of products. Some really good for me, some probably not as beneficial for me. Probably not going to take the natural test booster. Probably don't need to take that one, but they've got some really good liver support. They've got some good multis. They do some blood sugar management, estrogen reduction. I'm really, really loving their sleep and their ashwagandha products right now. So sleep and cortisol is something that I struggle with quite a lot, but I've been taking their sleep, travel, ashwagandha, blood sugar, liver, cholesterol is another one they do. I've been taking that sort of the last 4 to 5 days now because they sent me this package last week before we kind of flew to Melbourne. And with the disruption and the travel and the late nights and the early mornings that we've kind of had, my sleep's kind of arguably been in the best position that it's been in terms of the quality that I've been having. So that's a pretty good representation. So I'll pop a little link to them, their Instagram bio here. So I think it's Natty Plus Supplements from memory. They're going to hook me up with probably a discount code for you guys if it's something that you do want to get into. Now, I think it's really important, both enhanced and natural, to make sure that we are taking all of the health, requirements to try and do this for as long as humanly possible, right? So being enhanced especially, we want to make sure that we're on top of a lot of our micros, a lot of our health subs. I often regularly get blood work, as you guys know. So best part about that is we got blood work done kind of right before I got this package to kind of check all my hormones and everything like that. And whilst I did that, I got all my cholesterol and liver and, full blood panel done whilst I was there. So now I'm going to take these for, a month or two. We'll need to get blood work done again at some point before we kind of lock into prep. So it'll be really cool to see the trade-off between the two and kind of test the legitimacy, as I see. And, they were more than happy for me to do that. They're so confident in their brand that they're willing to actually pay for me to get my blood work done to prove that the stuff works. Now, when a brand reaches out and they ask you to try a product and they don't have any posting requirements, they're happy to pay for my blood work to get done to prove the legitimacy of the efficacy of their products, right? That really gives me a sense of confidence that they believe in their product, which gives me a sense that I can believe in their product. So I'm going to return that to you guys, start using their supplements, get some blood work done, see how my body has responded to that, and let you guys know how that works. And if it's something that I think is really going to be beneficial, which I genuinely feel like it's going to be, then I'm happy to share that with you guys. And if there's any money that you guys can save whilst also looking after your organs and internal issues, I suppose, I don't know, then I'm more than happy to pass that on to you guys and sort of help communicate that as well, because that is something that I stress a lot. I love bodybuilding. Would like to do it for as long as possible. So anything that I can do to help mitigate any risk. We understand that whilst being an enhanced bodybuilder, that there's always going to be risk, and that's something that we do take on. But as much mitigation that we can make of that risk as possible, to make sure that we're as healthy as possible. And a healthy body is a body that's a responsive body. So whether we're growing, in a deficit, whatever the case may be, if our body is in a position where it's able to be malleable, then we're going to get the best results out of that. So that's where I'm at with that. I'm going to go do some cardio. Definitely need to do some cardio. Keen to get a sweat on. The weather is pretty shitty here in Queensland, which is ironic because we came from Melbourne where it was beautiful. So that's it. I've been chatting enough. Let's go do some cardio, and then we'll make meal one. We'll chat to Caitlyn, because I had people asking where she was in the last video. I've definitely come to terms with the fact that this is a joint YouTube channel and no longer mine now, because people are here for Caitlyn and not me. And that's okay. Absolutely okay, because I completely get it. So we'll get her to chat to you for a little bit, and then we're going to go train some back today. And I'm really excited to get after it, get back into my normal gym, my normal routine, comfortable setting, and get after it. 22 weeks out, Tampa Pro. I'm fucking ready for it. Let's fucking do it. We're at the gym, waiting for pre-workout to hit. Very excited for this back and biceps day. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Coming off the weekend, training in different gyms, different environments, different routine, different structure. It's nice to be back home, back at the home gym here at World Gym Burleigh, and training, like I said, my favorite session at the moment, because I'm getting a lot out of it. So back, quads, and biceps are kind of like my biggest focus points for like the off season. And this session's got both back and biceps. So you can never have too big of a back. And my biceps always need work. So we hit the back from pretty much all 4 angles. So start with a isolateral lat pull down machine. Then we do a chest supported close grip seated row. Then we do a low to high row. Then we do a high to low row. So we kind of hit it from all angles. So pulling down, pulling back, going low to high, and then going high to low. And then we do incline dumbbell curls and a single arm bicep hammer preacher curl type variation. So that's super exciting. But something that was kind of like on my brain a little bit, and I think is really important, and something that I've definitely kind of fell victim to in the past, is you always hear the common saying, comparison is the thief of joy. And I think it kind of works in the opposite way as well. And I couldn't really find the right terminology for it outside of comparison is the thief of misery. And I think it's really important to feel misery sometimes, especially if it's an emotion that is kind of gripping you internally and you're not really sure how to process that or work through that or even identify that. And I think we all get into this mindset, especially nowadays when social media is so prevalent, lots of people overshare, and it's almost like the suffering Olympics is what I like to call it, is everyone is almost like trying to show that they're suffering more than the next person for whatever reason. And then we start to compare our trials and our tribulations with the next person. And sometimes we feel like we're not allowed to feel the way that we feel about something that is detrimental to us because someone else has it worse. And then we don't validate our own emotions, we don't validate our own feelings, and then we're unable to process them. So I think it's really important to understand that perspective is everything. And just because something is important to you and not important to someone else and vice versa, doesn't make their pain or their struggle any worse. So when someone comes to you and they're telling you about something that is really bothering them, really concerning them, and kind of weighing them down, and that's not something that would bother you or concern you, that doesn't invalidate their emotions and vice versa. So we often feel like we can't talk to someone about something that is really important to us because it wouldn't be important to someone else. So me sort of like having anxiety or, feeling a type of way because I've like missed meals that I've prepped, for example, is going to sound like tedious and ridiculous to kind of like the next person. But it's something that really bothers me and really concerns me and gets me out of my structure and gets me out of my routine. So understanding that just because someone else wouldn't respond to a scenario the same way that we would doesn't mean that we can't feel the way that we feel about it. So allow yourself to feel that, allow yourself to express that, and make sure that you're able to process those emotions accordingly. And I think that's really important. So comparison is the thief of emotion all over, I guess, right? Whether it's joy, misery, excitement, depression, whatever the case may be. Just because it wouldn't affect someone else the same way that it affects you doesn't mean that it discredits how it affects you. So with that being said, I'm going to go train back and biceps. I'm going to bring you along with me. So let's go train. Let's feel good about it. Let's win the day. I was actually listening to a podcast with Brett Wilkin, who's probably one of my favorite bodybuilders because he's someone that I relate a lot to. He's someone that started off in like men's physique, classic physique, and now has worked his way up to open. That's not really my intention to end up in the open class, but he's someone that grew up playing team sports, was introduced to bodybuilding a little bbit later than a lot of people would be, especially in this day and age. Like, so many people are bodybuilding from such a young age. I didn't start bodybuilding and pick up some dumbbells till I was, 26, 27 years old. And he's someone that I relate a lot to. And he said that bodybuilding is a marathon made up of daily sprints. And I thought that was really cool. And it's an interesting kind of perception and interesting kind of analogy, because it is. Every day it feels like this is the be all and end all. And if we don't, tick all the boxes today, then we've taken a backward step. But you have to tick those boxes every single day in order to be successful. So I really like the analogy that, bodybuilding is a marathon made up of daily sprints, and we need to win the day in order to make progress long term. So that's what we're going to go, win the day, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Let's go train. Back day, movement number 1. So we've got this kind of lat pull down variation which has rotating handles. So this is going to be my first movement. So we're going to have a pull down variation. Obviously first movement, so we've done a few warm up sets. We had a good catch up and chat with Alex, who's right next to us. And he's got back today as well, so we might help each other out with a few things. So we'll do this, then we'll go into a row, then we'll do our low to high kind of single arm row on a new piece that they've got here at the gym, which is pretty nice to use. And then we've got a single arm kind of high to low row before we hit biceps. So this will be my first working set here. Like I said, we're just maintaining numbers at the moment, the calm before the storm when it comes to training. So we're not looking to break any records or set any PBs so much. It's just maintaining those numbers, making sure that the movements are efficient, making sure they're executing really well. And like I said, I've done that the last 2 back days on this new movement day. And the response has been really, really good. So let's get into it and see how we go.
I can't be too upset. They got a reason to check. This shit regular in New York, but the Ville ain't seen this yet. Now I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be, regardless of the emblem that's drawn on the key. Ville nigga put on for NC, for something that's hard to believe. Shout out to Don P.D. Pablo, he did that long before me. I just got home from a tour and I brought my partner with me. Let her run through freaks and stack they dollars. We learned it all on the streets, to the VILLE.
Carolina shit, hold on, you forget. Take a fucking shirt off and then swing it round it, bitch. Money is a mindset if you already rich. Take a fucking shirt up and then swing around it, bitch.
2-6 with the blueprint, yeah, it made me. Old dog with some new tricks, had a baby. No more record deal, yeah, I'm fresh up out of slavery. Paid dues, now what was due, nigga, pay me. Nigga, pay me. Pay us, nigga.
Perfect. So training still like 1 to 2 RIR. And that's usually with the second set. So I think a lot of the back movements that I've got are 2 working sets, and then biceps 3 working sets, because smaller muscle group, a little bit more isolated. We can probably use a little bit more volume there, but 4 back movements, 2 sets on each movement, 8 sets total. It's definitely enough stimulus to maintain muscle tissue. So we'll hit probably closer to 2 to 3 RIR on the first set. That'll push us a little bit closer to 1 to 2 RIR on the second set. Move on to the next one. It's not rocket science, baby. We're just bodybuilding. Anyone that tells you it's too complicated is making it too complicated. Second movement is this diverging kind of chest supported row. So elbows a little bit higher, but still kind of in a semi-neutral position. Best part about this is the handles rotate and then they also diverge. So rather than converging when you're pressing, so hands coming together, hands kind of come apart here, which allow us to really contract and engage. So this is a really good machine. The kind of the weight distribution is really nice. The stability is really nice, and gives us the ability to really kind of contract and control in the right position, which is good. So make sure we're nice and stable. Chest stays nice and braced on the pad. Points of contact with the floor. And then we row.
Bitch, I be low on purpose. Big hoodie, double XL. Niggas be saying I'm humble as hell. Not knowing I'm bougie, I got standards, nigga. I damn near can't even stay at the Mandarin, nigga. That shit feel old to me. My cribs, they never get sold to me. Them bitches get built for me like cheerleaders. I'm stepping on these niggas skillfully. I don't want them to kill for me, and I don't want nobody get killed for me. Nigga, that shit lame. Then again, I guess that's your lane. In the 90s was crack cocaine. Nowadays it's clout and fame. Niggas is gas, going viral off hating. Shit is disgrace. Y'all ain't even getting no bags. Y'all call them bags.
Perfect. So we'll do 2 sets of 10 there, and then move on onto the low to high row. Alrighty, exercise number 3. We've got this M torture low row. So we've got a nice kind of brace point of contact here. We'll start at a neutral grip, and it's kind of meant to emulate like kind of a single arm dumbbell row, but
The strength curve is a little bit different. It allows us to stay kind of locked in and really kind of focus and squeeze through that lower lat there. So starting low, finishing nice and high. We don't want to be in a shrug, right? We don't want to rotate our torso in order to get the weight up. So we want to stay quite strict, stay locked in, and make sure we're focusing on the area of the back that this machine is supposed to target. So 2 sets of 12 here on each arm, and then we'll move on to the next one, which will be a high to low row, and then we'll go from there. So some people like to split stance this. Me personally, I like a nice stable even base, and we want to row this elbow up into kind of like the hip pocket. So nice big stretch to the lat. Squeeze.
People change, niggas change, bitches change. Friend or foe, if it's so, pick a lane. Lil Wayne on my single now. Fucking hoes like I'm single now. Triggers close to my fingers now. But when the label froze up, they all chose up. They telling me you're a non-believer now. A felony, all I could think about. The cars got repoed, the bills they add up. My bitch done left me. I smoked my last one. I'm high with no sleep. I pray it back come. I just like.
Beautiful.
Cause I ain't got none to lose. But I got these wins to gain. And I don't feel comfortable. One thing that I've learned all of these years is to block devils off of my ears. Cause fairy tales don't end well when the fame and fortune out here. Everybody out of sight, out of mind. Feeling like I'm running out of time. Out of sight, out of sight, out of mind.
Nice. Brand new Muscle Nation tee, so got a little bit of white fluff going on there, but that's all right. Nice design. New drops happening basically every week, so if you're gonna do it, you may as well use code ORCH. Yeah, right. Alrighty, last back movement. We have this gym 80 single arm high to low row. So I kind of use this a little bit different. Rather than being like chest supported on the pad, I'll brace it with my forearm and actually lean back on this pole here so I can really stretch through that lat to really get a nice good stretch. The tension on this gym 80 is a little bit different to a lot of high to low rows, and it's actually heaviest at its length and range. So we're nice and under a good bunch of load, pause, in the length and range, and then it kind of eases off as we contract. So a little bit of a different variation. And then we set this up with the handle, so it's a little bit more malleable, but because of kind of like the extended grip here, rather than being braced and not having full range of motion, I'll lean back, brace on the pad.
Diamonds are forever like family and loyalty. All real rap songs like cream on my melody. Diamonds are forever like my infinite thought. Like respect in the hood, they can't be bought. Word up, diamonds.
Diamonds, 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 diamonds. Yeah. Pick up the pen, write down the sins, cleanse, lay this shit down, play it for friends, make a few M's, then do it again. J. Cole, who'd have thought you would've been? Rhyming with ghosts, guru flows forever like a diamond at most. Could never afford the precious jewels, that's precisely why I'm blessing you. With clear-cut messages, I'm destined to invest in urban sections where depression rules. I hope to heal the destitute before I leave this vestibule. Between the heavens and the seven circles where some dead homies maybe rest, I plan to resurrect a few. I press the truth against the neck of devils. Look at the youth just like a precious pebble, meant to be protected. Mentally we let this poison of Western philosophy make us sloppy. We forgot we are the chosen. From hip-hop to astronomy, they copy what we showed them. Niggas be talking slick but only try me over modems. In person they starstruck, they hearts flutter. I'm like the realest one you ever met. If you don't feel this one, give it a sec. Go live a little, let the years pass. Experience pain, watch the tears crash onto the floor. Hurt brings wisdom, wisdom brings a whole nother sort of understanding. Diamonds only worth what we demanded.
Perfect. Again, 2 sets of 12 there. And then we move on to biceps. Righto. Time for biceps. And unfortunately, if you're waiting for me to reinvent the wheel, from a bicep training standpoint, you've come to the wrong place. This off-season has been a very steady dose of seated dumbbell bicep curls, standing cable bicep curls and single arm machine preacher curls, because that's what I connect well with the best. And we stay controlled, we stay in a higher rep range, and we make sure that we contract as best as possible. And maybe, just maybe, we won't have skinny fucking biceps next time we're on stage, but maybe unicorns will exist. Maybe we'll find Bigfoot, and maybe calorie deficits won't equal fat loss. We'll never know.
What you coming, nigga? This ain't my story about rags to riches, more about how I mastered physics. In the game, I used to train like Rocky, catching chickens. I was nice, but they was right when they told me that rapper business. I had 10 bands in my stash when I passed over $500,000. Come easy, no good. Don't be surprised I'll last these niggas. It's like they put out a smash, then they gone in a flash and admit it. And then they make tracks and disses like that's gonna add up the digits. They showing fake racks and pictures like that's gonna attract the bitches. That was really me, nigga. I ain't have to act and conflicted. Only difference is I'm living, and I would've whacked one of them niggas who knew that after drug dealing I still be casual, spending mil plus annual income. So here's my manual, then some. And this east side shit still in me. My ability to turn words to imagery, probably the reason they gon' remember me.
3 sets of 12 there, and then we'll do a single arm preacher, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. It's a hell of a POV. It is a fresh new pad. I like it. Last movement, hammer strength, single arm preacher curl. So Alex behind the cam, perfect, has definitely realized that enhanced bodybuilding is the same as natural bodybuilding. And if it works, don't change it. And you don't have to do anything else but the boring same shit every single day. So we've kept pretty much the same 3 or 4 bicep movements in the entire off season. And moving into prep, it's gonna stay the exact same. So for me, I connect really well with this hammer strength, pin loaded preacher curl. So we're just gonna do 3 sets, each arm back and forth, and then get out of here. Nothing too crazy. So just gonna pretend like I dropped the weight lower than what Alex just did. And for me, this is all about opening myself up, so creating a really good stretch through that bicep. I don't like to use my grip strength as much as possible. So for me, it's almost like sitting it in the palm of my hand and then really trying to connect and think about using my bicep to create that contraction and hit that squeeze.
Where we part at, pull up where you park at. Aim a little dark, look. Where your bark at? It'd be a shame if you stayed in them apartments. 12 barely came to them apartments. Catch a play and then parlay in them apartments. I swear it's like a party every day in them apartments. You was raised in them apartments, dang. Jump a shot or join a gang in them apartments. My mama say we gotta get away from them apartments. It's graves in them apartments and they ain't got it.
Perfect. I'll tell you this story as well. We'll tell it to the cam as well. So I had that Muscle Nation shoot, and the photographer is a very good photographer. I've worked with him a few times for Muscle Nation. Not exactly a bodybuilder. And he did the one thing that you should never tell a bodybuilder ever during this shoot. So I was kind of holding up the product and kind of like trying to hold the product up, but also like flex my bicep at the same time, right? Standard. And there was a room full of people that all know their way around the gym and have been around bodybuilders and what have you. And kind of everyone was like murmuring and chattering. And he goes, Matt, do you reckon you can just make your bicep a little bit bigger for me? And the room just went dead silent. And they were like, that is not something you should just ask a bodybuilder to do. And here I am, like, trying to flex it as hard as humanly possible. And I don't have the greatest bicep peaks. I know genetically, like, I have bigger arms, but my bicep peaks just aren't genetically blessed. He's like, yeah, can you just kind of like tense your arm a little bit harder and make your bicep a little bit bigger for the shot? And I was like, you're a real piece of shit. You know that? Like, you're a real piece of shit. But anyway, just one of those.
Here we are, building it.
Yeah.
For the next shoot.
So for the next photo shoot, the goal is to have bigger bicep peaks.
Tell you what it was, but let bro tell you what I'm missing. Pay attention. What's missing in my hood, I identified. Then I brought white to my hood. Shit, I gentrified. We had military arms, we would simplify. Point blank, let me simplify. I've been light post, corner boy, green box sitter, crack nigga. Tryna hustle up and act bigger. 6 deuce buyer, niggas really live the wire. From lookouts, then we meteor to suppliers. Caged in, one way in, one way out.
Perfect. So we'll hit 2 more sets on each arm there, and that's a wrap. Alrighty, back from the gym. Now, when I left, I had rice in the rice cooker, chicken in the air fryer. Caitlyn is home on a Monday because she has a lot of work to do on a Monday, and she has kindly put this meal together for me. So I think she's actually just run across the road. She left me a note on the bench. So she's just run across the road to grab a few things from the supermarket, and she shall be back anytime now. But in the meantime, we're going to eat this meal, going to watch the end of the Lakers-Kings game, and then we're going to lock in for an afternoon of client work and calls. And it sounds like the door is opening as we speak, potentially. Oh, hey. Where'd you get?
Stuff that I can actually eat.
Stuff that you can actually eat. Apparently right now the water bottle is a face. Thank you for putting this together. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I got really confused.
With what?
I didn't know if you actually had... Well, I didn't read.
So
That's probably more the point. I didn't read.
I write my meal plan out and I put it on the fridge because
Old school.
I'm forgetful and I'm 400 years old and I need it in front of my face. All the clear liquids.
Surely I can have coconut water.
I mean, you know better than I do. Subject lost. We're back. So meal 2 and 3 is chicken breast, rice, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, avocado, and some sauce and some salt. What? Do you want to tell the people why you're only allowed to consume clear liquids today?
Well, there's a big story to it. But ultimately, because I'm getting my boobs done tomorrow.
A breast augmentation.
Yeah. I'm having a breast augmentation, removal, and replacement.
That's it? That's all you're going to
That's
do?
all I got. Well, you obviously have to fast pre-surgery regardless. Normally it is from midnight the night prior. However, in this dieting phase, I have been running retatrutide. So, because it's a GLP-1, slows down digestion. Obviously, we don't want food sitting in my gut when I go under. I was told that if I stopped at 2 weeks out that I would be fine and just do normal fasting. However, my anaesthetist would like me to do a full day of fasting.
Caitlyn's so happy about it.
Much to my dismay.
Caitlyn's
I
so
literally
happy.
stopped because I didn't want to do the fasting. But it's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine.
Everything is fine until later tonight.
I have drunk water and a Powerade today and...
Lemonade icy poles. Apparently...
I've had 3 of those.
3.
So that's good.
So that's great.
Yeah.
So that happens tomorrow morning. And then Caitlyn is actually documenting all of this on her Instagram. So if you jump onto her IG, which is just Caitlyn McGuinness, right? Mm-hmm. So Caitlyn McGuinness on Instagram, she's documenting this entire process. So if you want to watch her talk about her boobies,
Go for your life.
go check that out. So yeah, she's had these implants for 13 years. So it was probably time for a replacement anyway. She's going a little bit bigger. Her choice.
Yeah, we're getting an upgrade. So
that'll be an interesting recovery phase, and she's going to be very open and honest about some of the peptides that she's using to help from a recovery aspect.
Yeah, it's also been the first time in a very long time that I haven't trained for an extensive period of time. Like even last week I did 2 sessions and I was already like, I'm uncomfortable. And now that stops from here, so.
But I think it'll be good. I think, sometimes we're in a position where we might need to be forced into a phase that we probably aren't comfortable with initially, but long term, I think her having a little bit of a break from the gym, this is something that she's been open and communicated about, transitioning through phases of, retiring from bodybuilding
I always put it in inverted commas because I don't think she's retiring. But I think, you know, being forced to take time off from the gym is something that she probably needs to do and has found it really hard to do. So this kind of forced her into that position, I think.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, even straight post prep and everything, I was straight back into the gym, and I think I've kind of like lost a little bit of motivation.
Which is completely understandable.
Love for training.
Yeah.
I've definitely been like very up and down with the phases that I've been post comp, and most of it has just been 90% in kind of training to get my body back to where I needed it to be. So yeah, it'd be nice to kind of come back and have a bit of a refresh and do it because I want to and I can and all the rest of it, and look cute doing it. So, cheers to that.
I'm impartial. But that's what we're going to do. I'm going to eat some food. We've still got a bunch of work to catch up on because the weekend was certainly a weekend. So I'm going to eat this, and it looks like we might be making her some jelly.
Yeah.
And we'll see how many lemonade icy poles a human,
are left at the end of the day.
human can possibly consume in a 24-hour period.
I've actually been very good, to be completely honest with you. Like, I haven't actually been that hungry.
No.
I think because I'm telling myself, you can't eat anyway, so why be hungry? What's the point?
You don't have a choice in the matter anyway, whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
So
I'll be eating at 1:30 tomorrow, guys. So
1:30?
Wish me luck.
I'll be waiting in the waiting room with 3 grilled burgers and three sides ready to go for her to consume while she's all mummified and wrapped up and hopefully a little bit medicated.
I don't know. I don't really remember coming out of.
Yeah, I mean anyone that comes out of a general anesthetic is never like.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
Maybe we can.
You can film it if you want.
We can ask her some questions and film it and see what the responses are. But that's us. That's where we're at. That's what we're going to do.
So many check-ins.
So many check-ins. So many check-ins. But we're going to sign off from this video. Get locked in.
How'd you go?
We're actually really good. Yeah, I had a really good session. Cool. I said this back session was probably my favorite session that I've done in a while. And I remember last week I was like complaining because my lats were cramping like flat out like the 2 days afterwards. So I hope that's a good sign. I don't know. Happy days.
It's working.
That's it. You guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.